be watching the most dangerous storage unit finds. I'm excited because I used to watch, what is it, the Storage Wars when I was a kid, and I hoped one day I would open a storage unit and see a Black Lotus just sitting right there for the yoinkin'. So let's check it out.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Because today we're looking into the odd and disgusting world of storage units. Yay! Is stuff starting to pile up in your house? Are you running out of room? Are friends and family starting to make weird comments about your life choices? Fear not.
Yeah, but that was kind of already happening. I don't know how to get away from that.
Friend, because there is a simple solution that may only cost you roughly $20 a month, allowing you to relocate your hoard of filth elsewhere. So first off, love Storage Wars. Fake
yeah,
TV.
that's what I was just talking about. Dude, this shit was so fake too. Like, nobody was getting this, like, grumpy over some random, like, quilts and crappy paintings from grandma's house.
Show, love it. Love Storage Wars. But then I've been seeing all kinds of videos online of verticals of people like, they find tons of money. It's all fake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I bet you there are storage units where people find some crazy shit, but I want to know, what's some real crazy shit someone's found? I want some disgusting, depraved stuff. And that's what we're going to dive into today, all right? Storage units are a great solution for those with too many possessions. The services range from small rooms to large garages.
Like, why would you buy a storage unit? I guess maybe if you're, like, moving, maybe you have, like, an apartment, but you collect stuff. But I would want the stuff in my house. I don't know, maybe I'm just out of the tax bracket to have a storage unit.
And these labyrinths are found worldwide and hold all sorts of strange items. However, these large steel buildings are not as safe as you may think. From burglaries to insane tenants and even murder, storage facilities are the Wild West of urban cities with chaos hiding behind every turn. So, grab your padlocks and steel boots as we get ready to lift the door on the strange ongoings of storage units.
Yay! Wait, they live in there?
I lived in a storage unit for 2 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out, sir. I was just making an observation.
How was it?
Horrible.
Oh.
My bad, my bad.
It's horrible. It's hot. There's no power, really.
Did you crank the door open a little bit? No.
I was too afraid. Just lock it. I had like a little heater in there and doesn't matter.
Could you rent a storage unit, but then like put gym equipment in it, and then you have like your own personal gym, and then anybody who comes into like the premises has to hear you grunting and moaning and like dropping stuff? That would be pretty cool.
If you've ever watched shows like Storage Wars, which was one of the most popular shows of the 2010s, it goes without saying that there are all sorts of crazy things to be discovered in storage units. Storage Wars followed a competitive group of buyers traveling from auction to auction, trying to see who could make the most money with the units they purchased, right? $500, sold to the guy for $500. Now I need to make $500 plus more money for profit. That's the show. That's every episode. And
but where do you like sell the stuff? Like a pawn store or like a pawn shop? But like, what pawn shop is gonna take half that crap? I mean, nowadays you can probably use eBay or, I don't know, have like a lemonade stand of crap outside your house. Oh, and to collectors, I've never been to like a pawn shop, but for some reason they're very intimidating to me.
Some bickering here and there. It's trash television. It's also all completely fake. It doesn't matter.
Boo!
Still, eat it up all day. Love that shit. That's what I do. I watch Storage Wars on. That's what I do. Over the years, some of the people on the show have found insane things like rare art collections and priceless vehicles. And although this might look impressive, they pale in comparison to some of the stuff we are going to talk about today.
How rich do you have to be to leave a car and be like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't care. I got 50 of those.
Starting in 2018, a man who bought a unit for $500 and was so excited about what he found that he approached Storage Wars auctioneers Dan Dotson to spread the word.
Whoa.
Inside the unit was a lock safe and took multiple attempts and 2 different locksmiths before the code was finally cracked. When they opened the safe, they were greeted with $7.5 million.
What? They got like a pirate treasure in there? No shot. There is no way. How rich are you leaving 7.5 million your storage unit and not coming back? I mean, I guess maybe it was like illegal money.
In cold, hard cash, I'd come. I'm not even joking. I would be leaking.
My pants saturated.
I'd be oozing the honey. The maple is going down the tree. You know what I mean?
Ew.
It would be a beehive. My pants. Is what I'm saying. sticky. News of the discovery made it back to the original owners of the unit. Realizing their money had just been sold for less than 1% of its worth, they contacted the buyer with a lawyer offering $600,000 for the unit and the money.
No, 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 no. You lose. Have a good day.
No, no, no. After intense back and forth, both parties settled on a reward of $1.2 million, and the owner received their money back in full. You still got $1 million out of it, but I would have been like, I'm not fucking giving you shit. That's also why you lie. You lie and say, I found $3 million in a deal. I'm not gonna tell you about the other $4.5 million. Come on.
So wait, also, is this the owner of the original storage unit or the?
This is the owner of that's like his unit. That's his money. So he's like, wait, what? Because he's probably like, I forgot about it. It's in there. No one will find it. Well, how do you not pay?
He was alive?
I don't know. But it's suspicious in my opinion.
That's weird.
I feel like a lot of dubious activities, dude.
The issue is that the other party's going to harass you your entire life. That is true. That's why if you win the lottery, you have to win in like a state where you don't have to disclose your name to the public. Because imagine everybody in your town knows you just won $10 million. Yeah, I'm out of here.
How do we know it's real? That's the thing now. You can't trust anything. If anything, now I'm like, it's just a headline to get some good press. Many believe that the cash was unmarked and was being held in a locker to avoid the law. Storage lockers are typically used for
That's what I was thinking too. Maybe he just wanted like non-taxable income or something.
perishable items, and while some are climate controlled, it's never a good idea to store food inside.
Ew.
During a routine lock check, a manager began to smell a funky, sweet smell emanating from a nearby locker.
It's a
when
body.
they opened the door, they found 4 large 55-gallon drums. They
Of
slowly
lube?
opened the barrels and found that inside the unit was over 200 gallons of maple syrup.
Dude, he invested in liquid gold. What a great asset.
Oh, man. Can you imagine that? We gotta keep those. Relieved that it wasn't anything serious, they contacted the owner and asked why they were storing so much liquid inside the facility. The owner said nothing. The manager didn't remove the syrup, but did notice that bugs and other vermin were starting to hoard around the locker.
Ew, I think about that because sometimes I drink from the can of beverages and like, you know, there's probably got to be like rats and vermin and little like Pikachus running around shitting on all that. Ugh.
I think they stole the syrup. I think it was a little syrup thief.
So you think that these are people that like, they went to the Aunt Jemima factory.
Yeah.
Does syrup go bad?
I don't think it does.
I don't know.
I think about it. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen bad syrup. Editor note: can syrup go bad?
No. Ew. Wait, it can be moldy? Oh, so it's like blue cheese.
Editor, also, sorry, do some math. Aunt Jemima is how big? So if there's that many 55-gallon barrels, how much maple syrup is that? And is it worth the headache?
711 bottles.
Worth of maple syrup.
There's no way it's that much money. I'm gonna guess it's maybe a little over $1,000 worth of maple syrup. Like, not enough to me. I'd like to have to.
It's around $3,825 worth of maple syrup. How rich do you have to be spending all your money on that? Like, that's like at least 3 Uma pools.
Carry the barrels in there? There's no way it's
Wait,
worth it.
oh, did we say 455? I was thinking like 55
Even then, you think that's $400,000 worth of condiments? It's a condiment at the end of the day. I love how high you price maple syrup, dude. A lot of storage facilities act as graveyards for deceased people's stuff. Once the person is gone, their belongings can sit there for years until the container is auctioned off along with the stuff inside.
Oh, I never thought about that. So, like, storage units are basically like King Tut. it makes sense if you think about it.
One of the most common finds is war memorabilia left behind by veterans. Usually it's old medals, uniforms, and guns, but on rare occasions, it leads to live arsenals being discovered, aka they have like a fucking bomb. Out in Rockwell, Texas, bomb squads were called to a storage space containing what they were told were live military-grade munitions.
How did he get those? He just took them? And then he kept them? Yeah, this is a crazy loot box. He got like a Fortnite chest in his storage unit.
When they arrived, they were greeted with boxes of hand grenades, old ammo, and even live tank rounds. The guy's just like, I want to take them. My business is not done. After safely removing all the explosives, they were taken to a nearby field and detonated. God, what a fun day.
That would be fun for your job, though. Like, imagine you had to go and take a whole bunch of grenades and just, like, detonate them. That would be awesome.
Sick would that be?
Yeah.
All you got to use them. Look at your buddy. You're making my dreams come true. Oh, that's.
So did they get the watch?
Yeah. Yeah. The
Hopefully.
people blowing them up?
Or I meant the people who bought the storage unit.
Oh, better. I'd be like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. You better let me blow. I'd be like, you need to rent me a tank so I can shoot this. I feel like you can rent tanks for not that much either.
Dude, you can rent tanks in Florida. You can have somebody drive you around probably on the highway and just scare everybody.
There's no guns, like they're not, but you can drive them. That's a lot of places you can do. You can like run over cars with them and stuff.
Oh,
cool.
But in a location, you can't just take it to your house.
No, it's a,
okay.
No. No, the treads would tear up the road. The city would be very mad. It is unclear who the previous owner was and how they acquired such a dangerous collection.
I like to think it was a Nazi.
Why would you like to think that?
What?
Why does that like give you a smile of thinking that?
I don't know. I said like.
Well, Freudian slip probably. At a different facility in Pennsylvania, police removed nearly 60 homemade explosive devices. A lot of bombs in these stores. Kind of makes me want to steer clear of them.
Someone was under the kitchen
go by a
sink.
storage unit and be like, motherfucker's getting ready to blow.
Probably statistically, there is probably one storage unit with explosives in every single.
I would say, yeah. If there's a storage container area, there's got to be one locker that has explosives in it. That's what they have in the contract too. There are probably explosives somewhere in here. I don't know. Sign here. Investigators discovered the bombs while investigating the owner for a massive Ponzi scheme. While searching his locker in hopes of finding more evidence, investigators instead uncovered explosives.
Is it that easy to make those or find them? Like, how does everybody have an explosive? Are they just like random drops that you're picking up off the ground?
Total, police removed 60 PVC pipe bombs and over 400 cardboard explosives. Like a Home Depot terrorist. The owner, S. von Merchenthaler, was arrested and sentenced to 11 years in prison for illegal possession of explosive and weapons.
Damn.
That guy was starting a revolution.
That guy was getting ready. I'm like, some bank just got spared because that motherfucker was going in with that Office Depot fit. If you go digging through people's stuff, you were bound to find creepy items that they didn't want you to see in the light of day. In Florida, a former medical examiner.
Always Florida. Here we go.
Examiner's dirty secrets were aired out when he defaulted on his storage payments. Dr. Michael Berklin, a medical examiner based out of Pensacola from 1997 to 2003, was fired for not creating proper autopsy reports.
What? Okay, and this was like in his storage unit, just all the evidence of him being really bad at his job?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this does not sound good.
My asshole immediately did.
Wait, are the bodies in there?
Following his departure, he continued performing autopsies until 2007, when he stopped altogether. And in 2012, Michael's storage locker was auctioned off for $900 as he could no longer afford it. When the new owner started digging through the stuff, he found a stack of boxes in the back corner and was disgusted by what he found. Inside were organs belonging to over 100 different people.
What? This is like an indie Steam game. There is no way. Also, why would he keep that? I would think that maybe if he was like bad at his job and was doing like diabolical criminal shit, he was at least selling it. He's just keeping it in a leaky box?
Brains, lungs, livers, and hearts were all found in formaldehyde. That would be a smell alone. When you open that store, you would have to smell it. Formaldehyde is strong.
Yeah.
But it should be sealed, right?
Yeah, but I would still think of, 100? I would assume that you'd be like, it smells weird in here. Which maybe all storage units have like a funk. But formaldehyde, I feel like you can smell that shit still. I feel like.
Guys, when I got my wisdom tooth taken out, they didn't let me keep it. Does this mother sucker have it in his storage unit right now?
It would emanate a little bit of scent. Even worse, the organs were stored in basic Tupperware and double gulp cups from—
No! Damn, imagine taking a sip. Oh, brain freeze, literally.
local gas stations.
That definitely has a smell then. I thought they were in jars.
Oh my God, not even glass jars, plastic Tupperware, and big gulp cups, dude. Fucking big gulp cups. Police quickly tracked down Dr. Berklin and all the organs were removed. He was charged with keeping a public nuisance, improper storage of hazardous waste, and driving with a suspended license.
I told you! Literally nobody believes me! I was never in a car accident before I moved to Florida. I got in 4 in the same year. Look, I tried to tell you! Even the autopsy people don't know how to drive. He put his brain in the damn jar.
Threw that on top.
They're like, we gotta make sure we get this motherfucker. 10 families were notified of their deceased loved ones being found in the locker. Michael never faced any jail time. How? Because he posted his $10,000 bond and walked away. Posted $10,000 bond, but was unable to afford the storage. I'm telling you, every one of these is just a little suspicious, isn't it? To be fair, if he's putting the brains and organs in big gulp containers, I don't think he really gives a fuck that much. That's kind of cool. Yeah. There.
I want to know why he did it. Do you think it's just trophies?
Probably. If you're doing the autopsy stuff, you have to have a fascination with the human body in some way where you're maybe what do you probably they're probably like prize organs. That's the most beautiful liver I've ever seen.
You got to take a little trophy every time you cut someone open.
Well, exactly. You're not gonna need this in hell.
I thought he was gonna do something much more diabolical.
I thought he was.
Dude, imagine being like an organ donor, but you didn't know you were donating to this dude. That sucks.
Fucking dead bodies. Because also, that's another thing too. People that do autopsies and shit, this is me just completely speculating and no real fact to it. I imagine a lot of those people fuck the bodies. I think men.
Oh, do they? I'm not dying. I'm not dying. Get away from my coochie.
Men that have dead women in there, I think they definitely have sexual
Actually,
bodies.
I think I've read that women are actually more likely to do something to the body.
What?
If a guy dies with a boner,
Yeah, wait, that like stays up. Ew! She bouncing on it, Dio, zombie style.
boner stays.
Ew!
Because the blood stays there.
Oh,
Right?
that's real.
It's not circulating anymore. What would a woman do?
Now that I said that, I don't know.
Fingers all calcified, whatever, and she's just like, hey guys, this video is sponsored by Starforge Systems. Head to Starforge Systems and check out their holiday sale to get up to $900 off on PCs and gaming accessories. Whether you're in the market for top-notch PCs or customizable accessories, check out the link below to see all their great options. And thank you for sponsoring this video. Back to the video. But Dr. Berkland wasn't the only.
I know what his microphone reminds me of now, and it's because I saw the font he was using. You're wearing pink. You're wearing yellow. You do care.
Only one misusing a storage unit. While his story may have been the most grotesque, others have turned the spaces into makeshift homes. The price of rent has become nearly unaffordable across the United States, causing people to look for cheaper places to live besides being outright homeless. Many have chosen to move into storage units. Certain storage facilities offer climate-controlled units, plug-ins, and public bathrooms, covering all the basic essentials one would need in basically an apartment. With the average size of a container being 10 feet by 10 feet, that is more than enough room to fit a single bed and a small kitchen. Plus, storage facilities cover the cost of the utilities, so they save you some money. Granted, you're in a rat cage, but still. Out of the rain. So
I mean, as long as I got, I don't know, a computer or internet or watch videos, I'd probably be fine in a 10 by 10 unit.
As long as you can afford the cheap monthly payment, you can live well within your means. And one woman chose
Dude, that's bigger than any hotel room I ever stayed in Japan, by the way.
to move into a storage locker after her rent was raised from $850 to $1,300 because the building had to be rebuilt after a tornado leveled it. Which I want to say, that's unfair. That's a huge jump too. My God, $800 to $1,300. Holy fuck.
That was just an excuse to raise rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we had to do a new one. I have to do it. It's like, fuck you, dude. Yeah, right. In 2021, Mayfield, Kentucky was hit by a massive tornado that left most of the town in ruin. Angie paid her rent by driving for Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Lyft, and was barely making her rent. But after the tornado destroyed her building, it was sold to new owners who raised the rent to $1,300 a month to help pay for the renovations. Tired of living in a one-bedroom apartment with a collapsed roof, she decided enough was enough and packed up all of her things and lived in her car. Since her car was crammed with stuff, she couldn't do ride sharing anymore, so she decided to rent a storage unit. At the time, she also began dumpster diving for Nike shoes and selling them online.
Dude, dumpster divers are so evil in a community. I remember I went dumpster diving one time when I was in college, and me and my friend Kai, we asked if anybody had any cool spots we could go to, and they said, if you're not into now, don't ask. We don't tell anybody our secret spots. Yeah, they're like gatekeepers.
Which we've discussed too, but the dumpster diving thing, good way to make quick cash. Especially if they're nice shoes, why the fuck not? So she upgraded to a larger unit to store her inventory after discovering it had a power outlet. She brought in items like a fan and lamps and eventually decided to stop sleeping in her car and live in her locker full time. Angie was able to live in the facility for quite a while, living off her Uber and Grubhub money. However, she was eventually evicted because she was found storing her stuff in units she didn't pay for. All right, Angie. Angie was she was rolling hot. She was like a Scorsese like protagonist in a movie, and then that's the thing. That's the thing that flew too close to the sun. To make things worse, she lost her Uber and Lyft license because of a DUI from 34 years ago, and has since moved to a different, cheaper storage facility where she lives now. I want to say that's fucking bullshit. 34 years ago,
Yeah, I was actually on, I have an obsession. This is like a random thing I love to do. I love to look at extremely niche Reddits One of the niche Reddits that I've been into recently is people who eat like fish out of a can. But before that, it was like the DoorDash Reddit. And there was a very long span of time where people were getting like their DoorDash stuff taken away and Uber Eats because they had a DUI from like 30, 40 years ago.
A DUI, and that's an Uber gets me for that? Word?
Yeah.
How about you fucking forgive and forget, dude?
People must have complained that they maybe smelled alcohol on her.
She keeps putting stuff in my storage.
Oh, is that Bucky? I'm sorry, I got so excited. I love him. He's like a hero to me.
Locker, and I think she's drunk. What if it was that? On TikTok, a couple went mega viral for showing off their elaborate home inside a storage locker. Leyland Brown and his partner run multiple social media accounts under the name Fullest Nest and have gone viral because of a video showing off their storage unit. Hidden behind a wall of boxes was a full-blown apartment, complete with a couch, dressers, and a small kitchen. Leyland claimed he could run through the halls for exercise, use the bathroom whenever he wanted, and play loud music without disturbing anyone. This video would not only build his online following, but also get him kicked out once the property manager saw the video. Following the move out, Brown and his partner had been living in the woods inside a tent and getting continually evicted because he would post where he was squatting on private property. Buddy, give up the social media thing. That or lie about your location. Holy shit. Today, the couple lives permanently inside a hotel room and uses generous donations.
Guys, I know this is very weird, but I just don't like watching people make out. Feels like I'm standing in a line for a roller coaster. Like, let's keep it clean.
To help them stay out of storage lockers. Despite there being numerous instances of people living inside of these facilities, it is actually against the law to do so. Some places have input extreme measures to ensure that people don't attempt to create makeshift homes.
Oh, I saw somebody in chat say that earlier, that they were looking for storage units and that they have like a bunch of cameras and stuff and like hours that you can go in and out. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Managers are trained to identify suspicious activity and contact the police as soon as they suspect someone is living inside a unit. Additionally, more security guards are being hired to patrol, making it increasingly difficult to stay overnight. New locations are being built to be more hostile inside, with no restrooms on the property, no electricity or temperature control, and even poor circulation to prevent air from circulating.
Damn.
Excessive. It really seems like storage facilities are growing more heartless by the day, and the staff.
Can you imagine having to go to your storage unit and they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we just installed like the, I don't know, poison gas. Make sure you grab your mask.
Shows no sympathy, which comes across to some as dehumanizing. If someone's just like, I want to rent this unit, I'm going to stay inside, I'm storing myself. What's the big fucking deal?
It's a violation. It's a code violation. Also,
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they don't want to get in trouble if somebody like gets really hurt or dies and then they sue them for like not having, I don't know, precautions or like closing the door. I see how this could be like a sue problem. Like it is America.
You're not paying enough rent to live there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you think they're just like, well, you're just gonna be somebody using the bathroom way more. Utilities are gonna go up.
I'm gonna start my own storage facility, and then I'm gonna have an option to live in the storage unit for a little extra.
You have to sign a waiver being like, if you die from a heat stroke in here because the AC sucks, you're in a storage unit. Okay, you can't sue me. You need to realize this is a storage unit, so they don't come to me and be like, it's too hot in here. Is it? You know what I mean? That's fair to me. Like any business, you're gonna encounter weird customers, and storage centers are no exception. For some reason, the halls of metal doors and concrete flooring really get people hot and horny.
Am I supposed to be seeing all this? Does he come with the unit? I mean, he's a unit himself, I guess.
Numerous cases of people getting caught having sex have been reported. And what is even more strange is that
they already got poor circulation. I gotta smell somebody's yeast infection down the hall? No.
90% of them are cheaters trying to find a hidden place to elope. I'm gonna treat my baby right. I'm taking her to the storage unit. It's hot in here.
Yeah, you could set up a bed. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Easy. Jesus. God damn, dude, you need to calm your ass down. In Cleveland, Ohio, the chief of police was found cheating on his wife with another woman. The chief of police is so funny. Wes Snyder had served as police chief for a decade and was widely respected for his dedication to the city. Definitely respected by somebody. That all changed when workers at the storage facility noticed that he and Sharon Marr, a city nonprofit employee, were...
That's her? I mean, girl, your hair is a beacon. How'd she even get through the damn door?
Entering a unit together for 60 to 90 minutes several times a week. God
damn! He was putting up numbers 60 minutes? That is excessive.
Damn, good for you. God
damn,
60 to 90 minutes. Yeah. This boy knows how to put in some hours. I mean, like, realistically,
That's what I said.
When the staff opened the doors, they found the couple having sex in a makeshift sex dungeon.
the chains and the whips. Oh, no.
Dirty deed took place on a rug with pillows and blankets. Other things like alcohol, baby wipes, paper towels, and hairbrush were found inside. God damn.
Very depressing.
It's a very depressing locker. If you're the chief of police, can you not get a bed? Get a hotel, dude. God damn. A sex dungeon, too. I mean, it really is. It's just a thing where it's just like, this is our fuck shack. I call this the raccoon trap. After 33 years of service, quickly resigned, and both parties issued an apology to the city council. I would signed. Oh, so what? I have a storage unit where I sometimes I go there by myself and I beat off. Crime rate's low? Is it not? All right, well, good luck when this city goes to shit. Oh, man. It's becoming more difficult to be at a storage unit when nature calls. Bathrooms are now private use, and this has left some tenants to leave their shit elsewhere.
Ew. That would have been awesome on Storage Wars. And for $500, you got... We can't air this. No.
Facility, workers were alerted by a bucket found in the middle of an aisle.
Ew.
When they found it, they witnessed that it was filled to the brim with human feces.
Ew! Filled to the brim? How? What is your diet?
To the brim. Do you think that's an exaggeration, or do you think it was just right to the...
It was probably to the top.
Like, you know those videos where they're like the men doing the water challenge with a cup?
You're on a very gross tear today, dude. He was conveniently found in an aisle that didn't have a working camera, and it is believed that the person shit there on purpose. They're making a statement, dude.
What?
At an outdoor facility, a property manager hopped on his golf cart to patrol the grounds when he found a t-shirt discarded outside a unit. He reached down and tossed the shirt into the back of his cart, only to be hit by a spray of cold diarrhea.
Ew! Nasty! Yeah, he's marking his territory!
What?
Nasty!
Someone had used the shirt as toilet paper and covered it in feces.
Oh! We don't believe in toilet paper no more. Ew!
So everyone that's watching this video is clicked off, right?
Yeah, at this point.
They're gone. I'm talking to no one now. Online, multiple people have come together to tell their stories of how people will simply poop in trash cans or next to fire hydrants, like a dog. Another manager complained to having to deal with a serial pooper who stalked the grounds at night and pooped on buildings and the streets.
Ew, on buildings? My God, he had some power behind that blast. He's shooting a booty bazooka.
Dealer shitter's back. You think he like shows up there like the sheriff's like looking at it? What is it? He's just like, I know who that's from. It curves to the left the same way. Poop is the least of the staff's concern because tenants are regularly found passed out or injured near their units. The owner of a storage facility was alerted to a specific unit after smelling smoke in the hallway. Smoked himself out. When they opened the door, they found the owner on the ground unconscious and a jerry-rigged kitchen cooking food. Got a big old like pork chop in there.
I thought he was just zooted.
Nothing I love more than cooking a pork chop in my storage unit. The renter had set up a hibachi grill. What?
He got the storage Benihana. No shot. You think he's in there like, I don't know, doing like the knife tricks?
He was practicing? The renter had set up a hibachi grill and covered himself in the grill with a blanket to mask the smell. But asphyxiated himself with the smoke and fumes. What a dipstick.
No.
He's doing that thing. He's like, dude, I'm doing that onion ring volcano. Yeah. He's like, that's awesome. Immediately. A similar situation occurred during what the owners referred to as a dead body walk, when one of them discovered a customer passed out drunk in the middle of the aisle. The owner was drawn to the man when he found a long extension cord that spanned nearly the entire building. When he found the drunk, he passed out with a beer in one hand and the other down his pants.
This is what half of you look like right now. Especially you watching the video on YouTube. Get your hand out of your pants!
In front of him sat a TV and a VCR that was playing pornography. What a king.
Oh. No.
So he was fucking jerking himself off on the
Hey,
bar.
brought an extension cord over, he was plugged it in, he's beating his dick off, getting drunk. He's like, how do you wake, even if no one found him, how do you wake up from that? What am I doing? Why do I keep doing this? The VHS has popped out because it like, you know, it stops, it rewinds, and it pops out, and he's sitting there, he's like, pushes back in, round two. Takes his onions. Covered himself in a blanket. The police were called, and the sound of sirens woke the man up, giving him just enough time to hide to one of the empty units. He had previously been given keys to all the vacant units in the facility.
he had a skeleton key to the biggest jorker of all time? What the hell?
After helping the manager move some things.
What?
Oh, now he's the key master too. You helped me move a box, so here's every key to every unit. The same man had been seen just a few days earlier, naked and unconscious in front of a different unit, but no action was taken. Damn, dude. That's a...
What kind of connections does he have? He's the most well-connected mother sucker I've ever seen in my entire life. He just keeps getting away with it.
Minotaur, that's a labyrinth I would not want to walk into. Can you imagine like sitting there and grab your stuff?
I'd be scared. I don't know.
I
I'd
would
run away
too.
probably.
If I saw a naked passed out guy, yeah. Well, I'd probably call 911 because like, hey, there's a dead naked guy. After the police left, he emerged from the hiding and confronted the owner for calling them, only to be kicked off the property for living inside the unit.
Man, why'd you call PD on me? Well, cause you're passed out, you ding dong.
Like I had the audacity to be like, dude, really? Are you gonna call the cops? Cool, man. I thought we were cool. He has like a giant keyring. Does this mean nothing to you? I'm never helping move your Hot Wheels again, man. Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, not doing it, dude. NASCAR, I'm not doing none of it. Not moving the cars anymore, man. In another unit, a tenant was evicted after the manager discovered bloody handprints and smears stretching from the front to the...
We know. Damn, you gotta do that in my storage unit? You're gonna get me in trouble, man.
The back of the unit. According to the manager, the space was packed to the ceiling, forcing the tenant to climb over her belongings to reach items in the back. In the process, she would cut her wrist and body on exposed roofing and metal walls, leaving streaks of blood behind as she crawled out. That's I completely understand though. Am I gonna take everything out? Just crawl over it. Yeah, I got cut up a bit, but I'll be okay. I wonder what if she died in there? It's like a saw trap trying to get to your Furbies in the back. Back in 2008, an obese 60-year-old woman.
What?
Why are you looking at me? Back in 2008, an obese 60-year-old woman came into the front office to pay her bill when she tripped and had the front door pin her to the floor. What does that even mean? How did it pin her to the floor?
I'm guessing she like tripped and the door broke and then.
Staff rushed to help her up. She was screaming and hollering in pain. The general manager was the first to reach her, freeing her leg from the door. Once free, she was dragged further into the lobby and rolled onto her back.
What?
You
wrong for that.
She tried to get up on her own, but she was so large that her gut prevented her from sitting up. Preach.
What? Are you serious?
Staff described her situation as rolling around on her back like a turtle and could not get up. That's a quote. That's not even, that's a legitimate quote. Rolling her back like a turtle. I thought they're just watching her.
I'll help you.
Like, let's just wait for her to die. Eventually, the manager pulled her up off the ground, and staff were checking her over to make sure that she was all right when they noticed that she had pissed herself during the fall and soiled her pink sweatpants.
No.
You fell down and got pissed.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If something bad ever happens to me, just don't tell me I peed myself. I want to go my whole life thinking I didn't do that.
And I'm gonna piss myself. All right, that's not even an act of rebellion. That's just the facts. After she was deemed okay, she paid her rent but moved out about a month later. Because why? How embarrassing is that?
Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
Every time I come in here, there's a girl rolling her back like a turtle and pissed herself, and we got it on camera. Renters can be a pain in the ass because of their behavior and odd possessions, but sometimes evictions are not enough punishment for these depraved people.
Jail?
There are numerous bizarre and horrific renter crimes. Tenants and managers don't always see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean they can't get along. Eric Adams worked at the 1 in 5 mini storage near Portland, Oregon for 15 years and was liked by most of the tenants. After about 5 days without hearing from Eric, a friend drove to check on him. He opened his storage unit and found Eric dead on the floor. Police determined that the cause of death was blunt force trauma from items found in his own unit.
Wait, it was like an avalanche of all of his possessions? I didn't think that that could happen. That's very scary.
Suspicion grew when none of Eric's valuables were taken. So
dude, I never thought about this before, but like, what about those people on like hoarders, like buried alive? Like they could die, or you could start a fire. That's so much more dangerous than I originally thought.
Suggesting it wasn't a robbery. His death would remain a mystery for a year until police gained access to the keypad records and found that one tenant was at the facility during Eric's final moments.
Ooh.
Rob Caputa had entered the facility around the same time that Eric did, but after an hour, only one left. He was a long-term tenant at his unit since 2019, averaging about 55 items per month. But after Eric's last signed in, he avoided facility for 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Not good, Rob. Suspicious activity, Robert. Rob was eventually arrested after DNA was found on Eric's body and was sentenced to 3.5 years in jail.
That's it? That's it? That was his punishment? What? Okay, somebody at the jail does not like that dude. Huh?
That seems short. In court, it was revealed that Rob killed Eric after someone ran over his dog at the storage facility, and he blamed Eric for its death. He fucking John Wicked him. He doesn't know if it's Eric. He's just like, you have to die.
Yeah. That's
Another
crazy.
man in North Carolina was locked in a unit for days without food or water by his girlfriend.
Huh?
When?
What? What the hell?
Man.
In 2024, police responded to a call at the Cooper storage compound from a man who claimed that he was locked inside his girlfriend's storage unit. When they opened the door, they found Gary Oxidine, weak and emaciated, on the floor. He had been surviving in the unit for days with no supplies until he found his phone in complete darkness and called for help.
It took him 4 days to
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not trying to like victim blame or nothing, but I would find my phone at least on day 1, maybe day 2. It's a 10x10 storage unit. Where was it?
What?
How big was that? Start 10 by 10. I imagine the first day he was just like. I wonder if on the last day he's just like, I really should look for my phone. Actually, I'm not gonna die here. After his rescue, his girlfriend Robin Deaton was arrested and charged with attempting murder and kidnapping. However, after the charges went public, Gary spoke to the media and claimed that the accusations were bogus. He said he had simply fallen asleep in the unit and his girlfriend had locked it without realizing he was inside.
Do we believe this? Is he covering? I don't know. There's a lot of lore here. Yeah, I think he's lying.
Come on, Gary. The pussy can't be that good, dude.
I mean, there's no way.
In complete contrast to what he said in the 911 call, where he claimed his girlfriend was trying to kill him. When the case went to court, the charges were dropped after Gary had admitted to lying, and the couple was able to walk free. I'm telling you, that's some diabolical fucking.
What a forgiving person. There is no way I would ever let somebody get away with that.
Sniz, dude. Holy shit. That snoo is better than
Yeah.
Kobayashi. If you think
Super grippy Gorilla Glue.
padlocks are going to keep your stuff safe, then you're mistaken, because break-ins happen all the time at storage facilities. A traveling nurse in Colorado had $80,000 worth of stuff stolen over an 8-day period from Extra Space Storage. She lost furniture, medical equipment, family heirlooms, and even her engagement ring. Police responded
Wait, she just had that in there? She not wearing it?
to the break-ins and added her case to the long list of 55 previous incidents reported at the facility that year. Since the incidents were reported, no other break-ins have occurred as the facility upgraded security. Oh, did you? With what money? $80,000 worth of stuff is what I think. That's what I'd be suspicious of too. The people that work there, they see you bringing in stuff. What is this? Oh, just like my grandpa's baseball card collection.
Yeah, this has to be insurance fraud. I agree. There's no way you're putting so much high-valued, like, loot in one spot. Yeah.
I mean, look at the guy who gave his fucking friend the keys of the castle to go.
Beating his dick off all day and fucking was living
the
La Vida
life.
Loca, dude. At a different Extra Space storage in California, 4 people lost thousands of dollars worth of stuff after thieves cut through thin sheet metal walls with a saw. One of the victims claimed the thieves stole most of the audio equipment, including TVs, car stereos, and mixing boards. Police wonder how the criminals were able to pull off the heist because although units are indoors, have a code at the front door, and they are equipped with cameras everywhere. California appears to be a hotspot for criminal storage activity. Just a couple 100 miles south of the last break-in, Steve Bohannon and his nephew purchased an abandoned locker for $80 at auction and were excited to flip whatever was inside. They were greeted with a bunch of boxes that read, "Danger, poisonous."
No. They're trying to keep people out. They're gonna open that up, $9 million.
What is that, Uncle? After opening them up, they discovered that every single box inside the container was filled with meth, beakers,
What? Oh my God, they found Walter.
and safety equipment. Thank God. Steve called the police to report his discovery, and they arrived in full hazmat gear to safely remove all the drugs and the equipment. But just want to say,
Jesse, we have to flip. Stupid.
hey, this is not me actually saying it, but don't get an extra storage thing. Extra storage seems like a scam. That's not me saying it. Disclaimer, I'm not really saying that, but extra storage seems like a bad place to keep your stuff. I wouldn't do that. Not that I would say that.
I wouldn't either.
Everything I'm saying is a lie. It might just be best to keep all your stuff at home and not risk enduring the horrors of modern day storage facilities. Between unruly guests and incompetent managers, you never know what you're gonna get. And if you're not careful, you might just lose everything. However, if you need to rent a storage unit, make sure to do your research. And if you're choosing to live in one, Godspeed.
If you live in a storage unit right now, send pics and record your setup.
Actually, that's true. If you do live in a storage unit,
I wanna
please tag
know.
me on social media so I can see it, post it to to our subreddit. And then also just type in Phoenix Foxtrot Harbinger in the comment section. And only us Papa Meat stands will know what you're talking about. Godspeed, Phoenix Foxtrot Harbinger.
Dude, what a cool video. I've never seen any of these videos before, but that was awesome. And they're so funny. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new here, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe subscribe. Come by the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/BerryCrepe. Or you can use code Berry for 10% off your gamer subs order. It helps me out. Maybe one day I'll get a booba cup or a flavor. That'd be great. Have a great evening. Goodbye.